And accused of running a truck through a New York City bike lane, killing 8, now faces federal terrorism charges that could bring the death penalty. 8 people were killed in the attack, 2 of them Americans. More than a dozen others were injured. 29-year-old Saifullah Saipov appeared before a judge in a wheelchair Wednesday, charged with those federal terrorism counts. Authorities said he had been planning the attack for a year and did it, quote, in the name of ISIS. Saipov told investigators he specifically chose Halloween as the day to mow down pedestrians because he believed more people would be out on the street. Sources tell CBS News he bragged about what he did and was very pleased with the success, what he considered success. Law enforcement now trying to determine how he was radicalized.
And what I'm hopeful is that we'll be able to perhaps do a psychological profile here and learn what makes these people tick. When do they cross over that line? And the difficulty we have here is in identifying people, even if they come from someplace else and then come here and become radicalized. And that is a really daunting challenge for law enforcement and intelligence.
Saipov legally immigrated to the United States under the Diversity Visa Lottery program. President Donald Trump announced on Twitter he will be fighting to end that program in favor of a merit-based system. The president also tweeted, NYC terrorist was happy as he asked to hang ISIS flag in his hospital room. He killed 8 people, badly injured 12, should get death penalty.
WCCO chief political reporter Pat Kessler joining us now. Pat, a couple of tweets actually from President Trump about this. He said he would love to send the NYC terrorists to Guantanamo, but statistically that process takes much longer than going through the federal system, and he repeated his call for the death penalty. So interesting to see so many of these coming through about this.
Yeah, a couple of things about that. I think the president reflected what a lot of people feel about this person now that it's happened, but the president is in a much different space than any of the rest of us. He is now saying he should not go to Gitmo. Well, they would never have sent them there anyway. They would not send this terrorist there because that is for battlefield terrorists, and it would not be for someone like this who could be tried in the United States. As for the death penalty, again, I'm sure there are many Americans who feel the same way, but the president is in a different position, and prosecutors now have to guard against the defense attorneys for this terrorist who say they're already against us, and this might hurt that case a little bit. But yeah, very interesting to see what the president's saying, backing off from what he said yesterday.
President Trump also vowed to get rid of that visa program, that lottery program. This is something they've tried to get rid of well before President Trump was in office, right?
Yeah, a lot of people think this is a good idea, that this is something that was signed into law by President George H.W. Bush many years ago. And a lot of Democrats, including Schumer, who the president blamed for this a couple of days ago, Republicans and Democrats together wanted to get rid of it and institute a merit-based system. So again, this is what a lot of people want to do, but because of the divisions in Washington, they haven't been able to do it. So maybe now, tragically, this is going to be an impetus for them to do something like this, which the president supports.
Let's move on to the Republican tax plan. There was a delay, but it is expected to be released today. Do you know why there was a delay?
Yeah, they could not get the math to work, but interestingly, we'll bring you some breaking news. Just during the last few minutes, this plan has now been released. It still will be very controversial. They're releasing it today, but it's going to be very controversial. I've taken some notes on this. It does cap the mortgage interest rate, keep some of these real high tax, this high tax rate at 39%. It is not going to tax your 401ks. But here in Minnesota, we would lose that state and local tax deduction. So because the math hasn't worked and the politics isn't quite there yet, it is going to have some trouble. Interesting point, they do need to pass this if the president is going to get any legislative accomplishments this year. So far, nothing of what he has promised has gone through the House and Senate. So this is their last best hope to do that.
Yep, we enjoyed your reality check on that last night at 10. Pat, thank you. We'll see you on the news at 5 and 6 today.
You bet.
City of St. Paul.